Scientists have shared the first one on one conversation between a human and whale. This has raised a whole lot of excitement about the possibility of being able to decipher and understand alien communication and language. So basically, what happened was that a group of researchers spoke to a 38-year-old humpback whale off the coast of Alaska called Twain. So basically, what these researchers did was that they used an underwater microphone to send off whale calls. And what they received in return was 36 responses from this 38-year-old humpback whale. This is the first instance of what you call an active communication exchange between two different species. So, definitely a fascinating experiment that led to a whole new frontier of possibilities. And then the research team also plans to use AI based algorithms to really understand and decipher these well responses. So, a whole nother perspective to the situation, too, is that you have to understand that whales have a lot of similarities when you compare them to humans in regards to their emotions and then also their behaviors. So, whales really make the perfect catalyst for engaging and really understanding non human communication. And they also say that whales have the most sophisticated and complex language within the animal kingdom. So, definitely a very fascinating perspective, too. Now, let's go ahead and jump in and discuss a topic in regards to AI and animals. So, this new AI tool that's completely reshaping human society may also be used to peer into and really understand the animal kingdom like never before. And this new type of technology would be what you call generative artificial intelligence. So, scientists and researchers hope the same technology that powers ChatGPT can also be used to peer in to the non-human world like never before, and eventually be able to allow us to speak animal languages. And I can definitely see a future where AI can benefit animals, such as warning whales about a potential oil spill or a potential noisy boat that's going to enter their hunting grounds. But a lot of researchers and scientists say basically the human language and communication is composed of gestures, signals, and sounds. And the same way that we're able to, create words and sounds through alphabet letters and then also combine that with gestures such as using our hands to wave and say hello. AI can be trained in the same manner to recognize different animal gestures and sounds and then be able to relate those repeated behaviors and transform them into human words. So, definitely a very fascinating topic in how these advanced language model AI systems can eventually peer into the animal consciousness like never before. And then another perspective with this situation too is that we've trained animals to do tasks based off of our understanding of what language is, such as teaching chimpanzees the ability to use sign language. But there isn't a whole lot of research and in-depth analysis as far as understanding the animal's perspective in this whole situation too. But definitely a very fascinating topic, but there could be instances where this type of communication with a unknown, really, we really haven't explored the frontier of AI too well, and allowing this to communicate with animals, which we really don't understand too well, too, as well. And a lot of the animal sounds are beyond our frequency of hearing range. So there is a possibility where these animals can potentially have conversations with humans and we may not be able to understand it. So basically chat GBT will eventually become dog and cat GBT, and humans will eventually be able to communicate with our pets and dogs through meows, barks, and so forth. So, definitely a very fascinating new frontier in regards to AI and then also animal communication too as well. And then another perspective of this whole situation too is our egocentric view on animal intelligence. So, the way that humans analyze intelligence is that we compare our traits to animal traits, and whatever similarities, the more similarities that we have to a specific animal species, we deem that as more intelligent. And the perfect example of this would be a chimpanzee. So, definitely an egocentric view on intelligence by the Western scientific community. And then a perfect example of this would be what you call orca whales. So, orcas have one of the most complex cerebral folding of any animal on Earth, way more complex than actual human beings. And they actually have the most sophisticated insular cortex of any known living being on Earth, whether it be humans or any other animal species. And these specific areas of the brain correlate to emotion, to consciousness. So just because whales didn't develop opposable thumbs where they can make tools, because in the egocentric view of animal intelligence in the Western scientific community, they say that tool building and using is a representation of intelligence, but whales are able to do it in their own way. Like, they can create nets to catch fish with by just blowing bubbles. And they also have the ability to use kelp and maneuver these kelp and kind of bunch them all together as a way of some type of like numbering system or some type of symbolism. So, and they're also able to treat their own wounds by finding things in the environment such as jellyfish. So they've been known to treat their own wounds with the sting of a jellyfish, and apparently this has some type of healing and antibacterial properties. And there is a whole lot of new technology being developed in order to really recognize the facial expressions of our beloved pets, such as dogs and cats. So eventually, we'll be able to talk to animals and really engage with their consciousness and minds by using AI based algorithms and these advanced language models. But definitely a very fascinating concept. But what do you think? I could see there being a lot of detrimental effects, in regards to allowing AI to take loose on animals. And I can see why a lot of activists would be upset too, because it is kind of unmoral to let animals deceive them into thinking that they're actually talking to a living being. But there is a possibility that animals may not respond too well, or maybe not even respond at all, if they know that they're engaging in communication with a non living being. So, definitely a very fascinating topic in regards to this situation. So, whales are definitely very fascinating and complex creatures, and just because they're not able to make tools or do things that we deem as intelligent, and they have their own own evolution path and history and different brain structure, doesn't mean that they're just as or very intelligent. So, what a fascinating topic. What do you think? Should we allow AI to take loose and really be able to engage with animals? Because, like I said before, there is a possibility that they can be engaging encoded talk and communication. But thank you for listening to the one and only Twilight Mysteries. And we talk about topics that you won't find anywhere else. And we really promote thinking outside of the box. This is not a mainstream media channel. The things that we talk about, they would never let out into the mainstream media, especially in regards to scientific studies that correlate with AI and animal intelligence, because the meat industry and a lot of these well established systems within our society would lose a lot of money if they knew that cows were complex and sophisticated communicators. I can guarantee you that a lot more people would be eating less cheeseburgers, but definitely a very fascinating topic and more to come from the one and only Twilight Mysteries. Thank you.